There are unfortunately way too many incidents where a parent bewitches a child. And I think it is one of those occurrences that when a person finds out about it, or comes to find that that which they always suspected is actually true, it can be a very difficult thing to reconcile. And today I wanted to, whatever today is, it's always today. Today I wanted to talk to those people who know for certain, those people who suspect that perhaps something is going on. And I wanted to go into a bit of detail about how a parent might go about it and how it might manifest. And subsequent to this, I will also do another video about then how you break all these chains and the spells and curses that have been placed upon your being. There is, to begin, there is no one who can affect you more than a parent within that space. Equally, just as when it comes to your self-confidence, to how much of yourself you believe, how much you believe in yourself, how much of yourself you're willing to invest in situations, how much you're able to give, how much you're able to receive, etc., etc. A lot of things are influenced by that energy. Not necessarily because, oh, it's not just this is my parent, the title. It's the energetic exchange that exists between you and this other being. And so this is a person who is able to get to you in a way that others cannot, because this person can easily take on forms of your siblings, can easily take on forms of other members of the family, can easily take forms of your partners, your friends, etc., etc., because often a parent is the one that you confide a lot in. And everyone knows, particularly as one gets older, that relationship, when it begins to morph into a sort of friendship, whatever the context, yes, when it begins to morph into a friendship, you find that you do confide a lot in your parent or parents. And it matters not whether you're close, it's your mother or your father that you're close with. It's not something that is also exclusive to a certain parent. Any gender can perform witchcraft against you, can place curses upon your being. Now, when I speak about witchcraft, I do speak about it in the broadest terms available, because I think there is a confinement of the conversation around witchcraft that is necessary. And I think because it's also been given a race, it's a black thing. So we see people throwing down things, etc., etc., and also the more dramatic scenes of actual blood sacrifices, etc., which, but absolutely it does exist. But generally, what happens in our day-to-day lives is that a lot of people do not access that level of it. But where parents are particularly powerful is the tongue. And what then also manifests in the parent's heart. I remember many, many years ago, at this point, it's not even many years ago, it's a lifetime ago. I knew somebody who said to me that his mother had said that there's no need for him to get a job, because she will just take care of him and she will give him a stipend every month as long as he does this and this, takes her to work, brings her back, grocery shopping, etc., errands, church, etc., etc. And it was the first time where I think I was introduced to all the different ways in which a spell can be cast, how a curse can be placed upon a child. Because, particularly because of the loyalty and the love that exists between parent and child, regardless of the state of the actual relationship, you'll find that a child quite willingly gives their free will over to a parent. I was actually having a lovely chat with the Divine Ones before, when I was getting ready to do this, and I said, based on what they were sharing with me, I said, oh, I now realize that in infancy, a child is essentially saying to the grown up in their lives, I am trusting you to not allow things that I would not consent to happen to my being, because I cannot speak for myself. And so I give you that will, that right to speak on my behalf. Do you know how powerful that is? And so it's when you consider that kind of dynamic, and this is where a lot of trust at a spiritual level, where a lot of trust is formed with a parent, between a parent and a child, and those non-communicative years where the child is given dominion, not the child, but yes, the child gives dominion to the parent over its being. And this is why oftentimes, and this is what then brings us to the conversation around even why witchcraft can happen between a parent and a child, is that as soon as the child begins to exercise or to wield its own dominion over itself, figuring itself out, what they like, the this and that, and if it does not conform to what the parent wishes for it to be, then depending on on the spectrum of healthy and balanced where the parent lies, and thus can influence the measures to which a parent is willing to go in order to have control over a child. Those are, yeah. So what other reasons exist? Many reasons. One of the most common that I have found is that a lot of parents, I'm now going to focus on actual spell work, where a parent might take a child. It's very common in many cultures where we find out what the child is going to be, the future of that child, etc., etc. And you find that sometimes one of the parents has been dedicated to a covenant of sort, where by pure virtue of just how things work, every girl child or every boy child that comes has to also be given over to that covenant. And this sounds quite fancy and things. There is a high-end level of it, but even at the most basic level, it is just about saying, whatever belongs to this child, I want it for myself. And so whatever could come for this child, redirected to me. And the only way you can have that redirected to you is by making sure that the child does not reach certain milestones, that the child does not meet certain people. But oftentimes those cannot be stopped. And so the interference becomes in actually trying to influence that person's relationships, in trying to influence they work, where they work, what they do, etc., etc., trying to influence even what they buy, what they consume, what they do day to day. And so it causes this cycle where the child keeps confiding in the parent, and the parent knowing exactly what to anticipate, and thus being able to put a stop to it. I believe that if I'm to go on, I might have to do that thing at 10 minutes. So what I will do is I will stop this and I will carry on in another recording. But yeah. What I do want to emphasize, though, is that don't you worry. Whatever has been done to you, together we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. We're going to share everything. I'm going to share everything step by step, how you can help yourself. So this is not a video about being afraid. It's a video about knowing that you're being empowered. And remember, whenever darkness comes to light, that means things are working out just fine. Love you.